Okay, here we go. So today's date, 10/8/18. All right, so first of all, a zero of a function, let's write this down. A zero function is two things. Any x value that makes the equation equal to 0, okay? Any x value that makes the equation equal to 0 is a 0. That makes sense. 0 is a function. Any x value that makes the equation equal to 0, okay? It's also going to be, x-intercepts. It's also x-intercepts, okay? So a zero function is any x value that makes the equation equal to 0. And it's also going to be x-intercepts. We'll look at that when I turn the page, okay? A couple of things we know. First of all, if we're graphing ax squared plus c's, if a is positive, then it opens up. It's a smiley face, right? Opens up. And if a is less than 0, then it opens down.
That doesn't make sense.
Okay, so either it's going to be up like this, opens up, or it's going to be down like that, opens down. Yes, and so that the term we're going to use is opens up and opens down, because if you do take pre-calc and calc, those are the terms they're going to want you to know. It's opens up or opens down, okay? Those are calculus and pre-calculus terms, but it's not a hard term, but those are the terms that they're going to use, okay? All right, now, we know that if we're going to take our parabola, and that's what this is, any kind of movement up or down has to do with some value c. We saw that in Desmos, right? If it was plus 3, brought the whole thing up 3, right? Minus 5, brought the whole thing down. We won't do any shifting back and forth until Wednesday. And then we'll do our shifting back and forth Wednesday, okay? All right, let's turn the page. Okay, I want you to go to, first of all, do number 1. So what I know about number 1 is this.
It has 2 lines.
Okay. So it says x squared plus 5. What I know is that it's going to have a y-intercept of 5. Okay, it's going to have a y-intercept of 0, 5. Because of the 5 right there. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, you can put this on Desmos, you could put this on a graphics calculator, or we can just be smart. Because what we're doing is squaring. We're squaring numbers. Now what we know is that we're going to take 0 squared, 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, and 4, 5. But those get pretty big. In fact, we might not even get all of this to fit since we're all over 5, okay? So we're taking, and every time we do a movement, we're going to square a number. So for instance, if x is at 0, 0 squared is 0, so I leave it where it's at. But if I go over 1, watch, if I go over 1, let's just do this and have 1 squared. Just move over 1. 1 squared is 1. Then I go back to the vertex, which is the 0 spot. Go back to the vertex. If I go over from the vertex 1, 2, we know 2 squared is 4, so we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I go back to the vertex, and if I go over from the vertex, 1, 2, 3, 3 squared is 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we know the parabolas are symmetrical. So there's this line called the line of symmetry. Okay, there's a line called the line of symmetry. Which goes right through the middle of the parabola. Okay, so when it goes through the middle of the parabola, it really goes through the vertex, doesn't it? The line of symmetry always goes through the vertex because that's the middle of the parabola. So since I have a line of symmetry, I just reflect my points onto the other side of the line of symmetry, and then I can graph my parabola. So I'd have a point here, and a point up here. And when you graph your parabolas, they're a little bit curvy. They're not pointy, they're curvy, okay? So go ahead and just sketch in my parabola, okay? And we did do a little bit of this last year, didn't we? Hopefully this is a nice review of some of the things we did last year, okay? Thumbs up. All right, let's take a look at number 2. So number 2, I'm going to start at -3. So I know my y-intercept. My y-intercept is at the point 0, -3. All right. So let me go ahead and do an xy axis. And again, you could put this on Desmos or on a calculator. It's actually really faster just to do it by hand with the 1, 1, 2, 4, 3, 9. I'll say it again. It's much faster just to do the 1, 1, 2, 4, 3, 9. So 0, -3 is my y-intercept, which is also my vertex. I'm going to go from here over 1. 1 squared is 1. Go back to my vertex. Go over 1, 2. 2 squared is 4. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll go back to my vertex. Am I going too fast? Okay, go over 1, 2, 3. 3 squared is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And again, I have a line of symmetry which goes right through my parabola. I like the line of symmetry being drawn because it helps me reflect my other points. So I've got a point here, and a point here, and a point here. Okay? There we go. Okay, let's do 3 and then 4, and then I'm going to talk about zeros, okay? Okay, on 3, am I going too fast? Okay, on 3, first of all, I know that my y-intercept is right here at 0, -2, okay? And I'm going to kind of draw this one in like this, okay? So 0, 0, -2 is here. Now, this one is going to be upside down, or we can use the term it opens down, okay? Opens down, right? Because of the negative. But this one's going to be 3 times as tall, okay? It opens down, upside down, and it's going to be 3 times as tall. So when I go and do my 0 squared, 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, I'm going to get 1 squared is 1, but I'm going to multiply that times -3. 2 squared is 4, but it's going to be multiplied times -3. 3 squared is 9, but I'm going to multiply that by -3. Okay, so it's going to be upside down because of the negative, and 3 times as tall in a negative sort of way, right? So instead of doing my 1, 1, I'm going to go 3 times that. 1, 2, 3. Okay, see that? Went over 1, but 3 times as tall. So then I went 1, 2, 3. I go over 2, and 2 would be normally 4, but I'm going to go 3 times tall. So I'm going to go 4 times 3 is -12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm not even going to do the 27 because it's going to be off my paper, right? So the 27 is going to be off my paper. I'll just do those, and I know I'm going to also reflect it because it's going to be symmetrical because it's a parabola, so I'll put my points here and here. So there it is. It's kind of a skinny, upside down parabola. Okay? And it kind of makes sense. Okay? Now, let's look at 4. So before I do 4, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen with the 1/2?
It's going to shrink.
It's going to shrink, right? It's going to be half as tall. So the vertex, or I'm sorry, the y-intercept is at 0, -4. So I'm going to, and I know I'm going to go down to 0, -4. Okay. So I will put at 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my y-intercept, right? And it's going to shrink. So instead of my 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9. I'm really going to take half of that, right? So instead of, I'm going to multiply that, take half of that, I'm going to take half of that, take half of that value. So go over 1. 1 squared is 1, but half as tall. Go over 2. 2 squared is 4, but half as tall. 1, 2, 4.5. Half of 3 is 9. Half 9 is 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. And again, it's symmetrical, right? So we're going to put our other values on the other side. And there is that parabola. Make it nice and curvy, not pointy. All right. Pretty easy, right? So we know that if you have a negative in front, it's upside down. The value in front either makes it taller or shrinks it, right? And whatever number this is, that's where the vertex is of the y-intercept, right? Okay, now, zeros. Zeros, okay? Let's go back real quickly to the definition. So the definition says any value that makes the equation equal to 0. All right, I can do that. So let's make the equation equal to 0. So it's a negative x squared plus 1. Well, I think I could probably factor this. You okay with factoring this one? I think I can probably factor this. If I rewrite it, I kind of like it written like this. 1 minus x squared looks better to me. So I would factor that into a 1 plus x, 1 minus x equals 0, right? So if we're looking for zeros, and because it's an x squared, we should always have 2 answers. Always 2 answers. Okay, 2 answers because of the x squared. So one answer would be negative 1, and the other is positive 1. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
So I get x equals negative 1 and x equals positive 1. Those are my zeros. Okay? All right. Number 6. That was it. Wasn't that easy? Sure, we do. That's why I'm going through this kind of quickly, okay? Do I need to do any more of these then? You guys know how to do this? Okay, so real quickly, let's look at 9 and we'll be done, okay? 9 and we'll be done. I should do 11, but anyway. Okay, parabola opens down, and the vertex is 0, negative 5, okay? Okay, there's the graph. What's the equation?
There is none.
What's the equation?
X squared.
X squared. How about a negative x squared? You guys agree with negative x squared? And plus 5. Yes. Nice. Okay, let's stop there. Number 11 is just like our egg drop, isn't it? And stop.